Hey guys, I'm Sid. I'm a student at Penn State, and I'm a freshman here. For our English project, we're supposed to research a controversy. We chose to research the water crisis, an issue that's been plaguing the world for the past few years. Little do we know that after the research we went through, we figured out how much the water crisis actually affects us as Penn State students. Today, my partners and I are going to show you the controversy surrounding the issue, the players of the issue, and what actions they take to affect the issue, with the players being the businesses, individuals, and the government.
Hi, my name is Alina Harper, and I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about water scarcity. Most people know that water is a renewable resource, but what most of us don't know is that it's a finite one. Only about 2.53% of the world's water is fresh, and at least 2/3 of that is locked up in glaciers and permanent snow cover. Water scarcity affects 1 in 3 people on every continent of the globe, getting worse with increases in population, urbanization, and increases in household and industrial use.
Hi, my name is Leah Mothersbaugh, and I'm going to be talking to you about water pollution. 3.575 million people die each year from a water-related disease. That is equal to the entire city of Los Angeles.
Yes.
The majority of illness is caused by fecal matter. Only 10% of wastewater gets treated. The rest goes into our lakes, rivers, and oceans. 20 million Americans each year get sick from contaminated water, especially in concrete-heavy urban locales. Emily Gordon, Senior Associate in the State and Local Initiatives Department at Green for All, stated that when it rains in cities, the water hits rooftops and concrete instead of being absorbed back into the ground. Gordon explained it runs off of streets and sidewalks, picking up all sorts of bacteria, pollutants, and chemicals along the way. That winds up in our water system into streams, rivers, and lakes that we end up using for swimming and drinking water.
My name is Derek Healy, and I'm here to talk about lack of access to water. 884 million people worldwide lack access to clean water. That's about 3 times the United States population. An American taking a 5-minute shower uses more than a typical person in a developing country slum uses an entire day. Additionally, people in slums pay 5 to 10 times more per liter of water than wealthy people living in the same city do.
Why should Penn State students care? How does it affect them? Well, here's some statistics to show you why Penn State
The global
students
water
should
crisis
care.
is hitting very close to home. Many organizations now claim that most of the country is expected to face water shortages in the next few years. Several large states, such as Texas and California, that carry immense potential for finding jobs, are already struggling with shortages. Moreover, areas in the South are experiencing drought at exceptional levels. Meanwhile, water contamination is also affecting many people in the U.S., as contaminated drinking water sickens an estimated 20 million a year, especially in cities. Americans get sick every year because rainwater collects bacteria, pollutants, chemicals, and ends up in our primary water sources.
Moreover, as Penn State students, I know you guys worry about tuition a lot. Some of the tuition money that we pay actually goes to pay for the utility bills, mainly water. With the supply of water so low and with the demand so high, the water prices have been going up over the past few years. In America alone, water prices have gone up 6.7% in the past 5 years. So we learned about the key players in the water crisis: the government, the businesses, and the individual. But who's responsible to fix this problem?
According to a study by ITT, when voters were asked, who would you hold accountable for fixing the water crisis problem, 87% of individuals answered the government, while 89% of businesses also answered the government.
But don't the individuals make up the democracy? Couldn't the individuals make more of a difference by taking shorter showers or turning the faucet off when they brush their teeth? Couldn't the individual person make a bigger difference than the government?
In India, from the 19th century on, the state made itself the sole provider of water. Among other things, this led to communities and households no longer being the primary agents of water provision and management. Because of this, the earlier usage of rainwater and floodwater has declined, and the reliance on surface water, primarily rivers and groundwater, has increased.
However, Many negative effects have come from the state having
the
full
effects of
control
this
and
way of
responsibility
managing
for
water
water.
are clearly visible. There is complete dependence on the state for any kind of water provision. The level of extraction from rivers that most of India's river basins have now been degraded, and the rivers are polluted. Groundwater resources have been heavily overused.
So here, we have the idea that it does not matter who should be in charge of water, whether it be private or public, federal or local. We just have to train water attendants properly, as well as have consistent regulations across the board. Finally, we will mention agricultural needs for water.
Very widely. This sector currently accounts for the largest global share of fresh water at about 70%. The dynamic expansion of food production in Asia over the last 40 years, often described as the Green Revolution, has been achieved through modern farming methods, which require high input of water. Households consume the remaining small share at 8%, but demand the highest quality standards for safe drinking.
Since the first of the colleges established at Penn State was the College of Agricultural Sciences, this hits especially close to home. We live in a highly agricultural area. So does that mean we're responsible for the water crisis?
We talked about how governments were involved in the water crisis, but even businesses have had an integral part to play in the water crisis. Here's an example of the Coca-Cola Foundation of India.
An example of a business
crucial part
helping during the time of the water crisis would be the Coca-Cola India Foundation. The Coca-Cola India Foundation is committed to sustainable development and inclusive growth by focusing on issues relating to water, the environment, healthy living, and social advance. Coca-Cola recognizes that water sustainability is a key issue affecting development goals and that proper water resource management is necessary to mitigate water stress. It will, towards this end, seek to preserve, protect, and enhance freshwater sources through locally relevant initiatives such as watershed management, protection, and purification of riverine systems, creation of integrated water bodies, and groundwater recharge.
So even large firms could take actions to cut down on their own water consumption
The
and make
government
sure they're protecting the
previously
environment.
enacted the Clean Water Act, the cornerstone for water quality protection in the United States. This is a law that implies regulatory and non-regulatory tools to reduce direct pollutant discharge into waterways, finance municipal wastewater treatment facilities, and manage polluted runoff. This act was enacted in 1977 as the Clean Water Act, and the EPA has implemented pollution control programs such as getting wastewater standards for industry. This is one of the most important pieces of legislation for the benefit of water. Secondly, a bit more modern, we have an Executive Order 13514, which allows federal leadership in environmental, energy, and economic performance. On July 19th of 2010, President Barack Obama signed this executive order setting sustainability goals for federal agencies and a focus on making improvements in their environmental, energy, and economic performance. This order adopts the recommendations of the Interagency Ocean Policy Task Force, except where otherwise provided in this order, and directs executive agencies to implement those recommendations under the guidance of the National Ocean Council.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you learned about the controversy surrounding the water crisis.
And I hope you guys could do something about it to help.